Okay, I'm here with Father Joseph, who just gave a talk on seeing God and eternity in nature and so forth. Father, you gave our group the last talk of our retreat. Very good talk about the perspective of nature and letting go.
Yes, a lot of people know, of course, of the book of Scriptures in which God has revealed himself to us in his Word, but also the Church teaches there is also the book of nature. And a number of saints, great saints like the Franciscan Bonaventure, taught a lot about how God can be known through the things that he has made.
And you also discussed the compatibility of faith and science, because faith, the Catholic, I've always said over and over again, the reason to be a Catholic is because it's true. Because if it's not true, we're just an Elks Club that meets on Sundays. And that there's not a conflict between science and the Catholic faith, although some people would like to pretend that there is.
It's such an important message for all of us to get out today, because people say, well, if you believe that's just your private affair, it really doesn't have anything to do with scientific truth, when the opposite is actually true. That science today more than ever confirms the truths of our faith. Whether you think about archaeological evidence that points to the truths of the Scriptures, whether you talk about philosophical truths or scientific truths that point to the existence of a creator, the beginning, because as Father Spitzer says, nothing comes from nothing, so there had to be someone who brought everything into existence. So yes, science and faith are both ways of knowing the truth, and faith is a gift that enables us to see even farther than our reasons can see. Now,
one final thing, because we have very little time. You see a lot of pilgrims come and go over these, and you must see a lot, and very few of them get your name wrong, as I did, which is why we restarted, because they see you on television and like, is it very different to be preaching to pilgrims? Because with a regular congregation, you know what you've already taught, you know what they've already heard, so you can try and mold them over time. But with when you have an ever-changing congregation, how is that a challenge as a priest to preach and to teach?
Well, in some ways it's more difficult. In some ways it's richer. It's more difficult in the fact that a pastor knows his people. He knows their struggles or particular difficulties, and perhaps he can relate to them in a way that we would not be able to since we don't know them. But in another way, it's also richer and easier for us in that a shrine is a place of grace. You know, like visiting the shrine of the Blessed Sacrament, coming to EWTN. It's a place of grace, and people open their hearts, are disposed. They want to draw closer to God. And so there are things that we can refine in our teaching maybe that can be more effective in speaking to them in a unique way that maybe they don't get in the day-to-day in their parishes.
And people are sometimes much willing to open up when it's someone they don't see every day, too.
Yes.
Well, Father Joseph, thank you so much for your time, and I want to thank, in general, since this is the last interview of any of the priests here, all the priests here at EWTN have been very, very open to our time for our radio station, WQPH, and for our interviews. And on behalf for all of you, I want to thank you all through you for giving us of your time.
And thank you, too, because the radio ministry is a part of the way that we can bring the gospel to others. So keep up your good work.
And we'll do our best. Thank you very much.